So my name's Rob. I wear a few hats usually, but today I'll be talking about one in particular, but just as a little bit of background. I co-operate a 5-acre USDA certified organic farm in Wailua. We grow a lot of diversified vegetables and do some value-added products. The two other hats, one is as a director of a kind of a food hub and a local food web application and marketplace here on Oahu called FarmLink Hawaii, and then a third hat which we can sort of talk about at the end a little bit. But I'm going to give you just a little bit of background as what FarmLink is, what we're trying to do, and kind of how that relates to data and how that relates to hacking and what sort of the next steps are. So I have a background in web development. Actually, I spent 15 years of my life building websites and doing product design and stuff like that, and I got kind of burnt out on it. And in 2014, I think, I went through Go Farm Hawaii, which some of you probably know. It's a great new farmer training program here in the state. And I wanted to become a commercial farmer, do production ag. And while I was there, I had a background in web development. We're all learning how to farm, and just realized how difficult it was to market all of our stuff. It's hard enough to grow it, but then to go out there and try and market it and work with chefs. And then we were collaborating with students. All of our students sort of had our own little farms going on, and we're all trying to sell to the same restaurants or the same little grocery store or something like that. And we were cross-ordering, and just takes so much time to text, email, call, and we were under-delivering or over-delivering and just kind of blowing it in general. And it was just a huge time suck. And so I said, well, there's got to be some sort of like web application out there that helps just coordinate groups of farmers and makes it easier for buyers to, if I want to buy from 10 farmers, so I don't have to call every single farmer and figure out what they have, what the prices are, what the product looks like. So I kind of did some research, and I found this software called LocalOrbit, and we'll get back to that in a little bit. But through Go Farm, we started a little test project, and some of the Go Farmers, posting cabbage and carrots and kale and whatever, and just to see if it would even work, or that the other farm students would be into it. And it seemed like it was going kind of well, and I graduated the program, and then wanted to expand it just at least to all of Oahu. And so we started letting other farmers that weren't part of the Go Farm program into it. We started actually connecting with grocery stores and chefs and caterers and even some individual consumers. And things started to snowball a little bit, and it seemed like it was a meaningful way to just make it easier to both market your stuff as a farmer, entering a new market, just figuring out who's out there, what chefs even want to buy these carrots, and also allowing buyers to more easily source local. And so just a little bit of background, and we'll get back to the techie stuff in a bit. But LocalOrbit is built with Ruby on Rails, and it's actually the platform that runs FarmLink, which we'll see in a second, is going to be open sourced later in 2018. And right now there's about 42 Oahu-based farms and about 47 restaurant or wholesale buyers, or just buyers in general, I guess, that use the system every month. So that's like 42 local farms participating, making transactions, and about that same number of buyers. And basically how this system works, it's a website where farmers list their produce, what they have available that week, people can easily buy, but it's not just virtual. We actually have 3 refrigeration points around the island, one in Haleiwa, one in Waimanalo, and one in Waianae. And so farmers in that region, they get an order, they can bring their stuff to a nearby refrigeration, food hub aggregation point. And then once a week, every Friday, we have a 16-foot refrigerated box truck. It's FarmLink. We go pick up all the produce, and then we drive around to, a dozen restaurants or grocery stores around the island, and deliver some stuff. I got 5 minutes. Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna try and steam through this. Let's just go right. Let's cut right to the chase. I just want to give a quick tour of what it looks like, because we sort of have a bit more. I'm trying to be as like general as possible about the problems we're trying to solve and open it up to the hackathon, but sort of as hokey as it sounds, every day is kind of a hackathon for us. And so this is just a demo market. I can show you the FarmLink Hawaii market in a second, but I wanted to make some actual purchases here without having a farmer really think that we're buying something. So this is a web platform. A buyer can come to it and choose either a delivery to their location, or you can set up particular pickup points. They can see product across multiple farms, and I mean a big problem with buyers, wanting to source locally is that it's just so difficult to purchase from multiple farms, and you sort of need to. There's not enough mega local farms that you can just get everything. So as a buyer wanting to source locally, you can enter products you want, you can check out, and then as FarmLink, we sort of handle the rest. And so why am I talking about this when we're trying, the theme we're supposed to talk about here is data. I think I can go back to this. And you can see just from the FarmLink Hawaii data over the past 3 years, this is what a graph of buyer to supplier looks like. And we are super small too, but this is just this very, very small microcosm of transactions happening over the past 2 years. And it's already crazy. You can see all, multiple buyers purchasing from multiple suppliers. And we totally find, which I think we all know, is the demand for local food far outweighs the supply. So what we're trying to do with FarmLink in general is really help the producers sort of parlay any sort of orders that they get through FarmLink into more stability, increased sales of local food, and in turn that means sort of being a catalyst for more buyers wanting to source locally. So just in 2017, we put $129,000 directly into small farmers' pockets just on Oahu, and so we gross about $3,400 on average every week in a delivery day. And here's another graph showing the suppliers, the farmers on the left side, the products that they sell, and then the buyers that buy those products. And you can see, just a shout out, there's a lot of great buyers on here, but Foodland Produce actually, they're really interested in sourcing locally, but they needed something to help them navigate the ecosystem. So just wrapping everything up, trying to figure out how do we look at data and in a way that we can figure out what questions we want to ask, but more importantly, what do we do with those answers? How do we take those answers and not just say, cool, we answered that question, great, we wrote it down somewhere, we posted it on the website somewhere, but how do we make meaningful action from those insights and have this feedback loop of answering questions, in helping farmers and food hubs and buyers make better decisions and increase local food consumption and production. And so here's some real obvious kind of general questions just to kind of get the conversation going. I know I'm probably way over time, but what local products do buyers know they want? So you have a restaurant, Duke's in Waikiki, they know, hey, we import 6,000 heads of lettuce every week from the mainland or even other countries. They would like to buy locally, but we don't have people producing that quantity and that consistency for them. So that's something we can action on. What do buyers want that they don't even know that they want? And so there's a lot of times where there's maybe a chef coming over from the mainland, or just a chef not knowing, or a grocery buyer not knowing that certain products can be grown locally. So getting that information from the farmers and publicizing it out there in an actionable way. So a buyer could say, oh, cool, you grow jicama? Like, I would totally love to buy local jicama. Sign me up for 50 pounds a week. What are farmers growing now and selling? Just so we have some understanding of what's going well. What are farmers growing and selling? Everything's great. But more importantly, talking about food waste, how much are they growing that they can't sell? We have some metrics on food waste, but I think Robin and everybody would love if we had more accurate metrics about what cannot be sold. And that's a trigger for us to say, hey, if you can't sell that, we need to be doing a better job as marketers and finding where that demand is, because the ceiling for the demand for local food is humongous. We just need to connect the dots, as you can see behind this graph. And yeah, just trying to grow more farmers as an alumni of the Go Farm Hawaii program. It's really hard. Farming is hard in general. We all hear that, but just starting out to really a huge part of it for us as farmers was just hard to figure out how to access the market. You're figuring everything out, and it's just so much time and effort, and you just feel totally overwhelmed trying to access the market. So providing new farmers, beginning farmers, with setting them up for success, really. Trying to figure out what should they grow, what should they not grow, and finding them a market, and then collecting data and having it feedback, into their decision making. I think I'm probably way over. I've got a bunch more in here, but that's kind of the gist. So I'll wrap it up. My pitch is, let's figure out what other questions like this that we want to answer, what actions we want to take with those answers, and how that's going to impact local food. And more specifically, the platform that is providing meaningful sales for farmers right now, called LocalOrbit, which powers the FarmLink marketplace. That's going to be open source in 2018, and we're leading that charge. So anybody who is a hacker or does Ruby on Rails or whatever, you want to develop some sort of module that's going to plug into this and you want to monetize it yourself, come talk to me. Let's figure out how to kind of push this whole thing forward. So I know it's kind of rambly, all over the place, but if any of this was sort of interesting, come talk to me, and we'll have a longer discussion. Okay, thank you.